Austin Wells hits a two-run homer off Jordan Romano in the top of the ninth inning as the Yankees play spoiler here north of the border. They defeat the Toronto Blue Jays by a final of 2-0 here at Rogers Center. And while Wells' third Major League home run is the story of this game, here's something you might not have seen if you weren't watching this one. And before the game, Aaron Boone was talking a little bit about how Wells has really impressed him. His demeanor behind the plate, his arm better than advertised, his work with the pitching staff has been more than the Yankees would have expected from a catcher getting called up for his first taste of the big leagues in September. And Wells has really poured every ounce of his energy into that, recognizing that sooner or later the bat was going to come around, and it seemingly has here. He's made some adjustments, he's getting some better pitches to hit, and now has homered in back-to-back games and 3 out of his last 5. But anyway, here's what you might not have seen. So it's the third inning. The Blue Jays have the bases loaded with 2 outs, and Vlad Guerrero Jr. is at the plate, and Michael King falls behind Vlad Jr. 3 balls and no strikes. Well, that brings Wells out to the mound for a mound visit, recognizing that King seemed to be out of his rhythm, maybe hurrying a little bit too much, trying to work a little too quickly. And what Wells did was he went out there to slow it down as much as he could. They went over the scouting report again on Vlad Jr. and talked that through, and not that King needed a refresher, but it helped. And King talked about this, and Boone talked about it after the game as well, in that it just kind of set everything back and let King find control. So what did he do? He pumped strike 1, strike 2, strike 3 in on Vlad Jr. Side retired. Easy as pie, right? And an outing here for King, by the way, where he did not have his best up. Last time out in New York with the 13 strikeout game against this same Toronto Blue Jay team, he was in command. He had all 4 pitches working. That was not really the case here today. This was a grind. And so even though he only allowed 1 hit, the zone was bumping around a little bit on him. 5 walks, 5 strikeouts, but still, you look up, 6 scoreless innings, and if anybody's made the most out of the end of this season, it's been Michael King, who has gone from a guy who, we'll take a look and see, maybe he could be a starter, to yes, he is absolutely a starter. He should be in the Yankees rotation for 2024, and so that is one takeaway here in September, is that King has really stepped up and proved a point. He has aced this audition and should be in the rotation. Well, Austin Wells is doing the same thing. And I know the bat has not come around until lately here, this little surge, but he has shown enough with that pitching staff. And King said about this that when he got called up in Houston, those first 3 games there, getting really thrown in the fire and then having to manage all the different pitchers on this staff, a lot of egos in that room, as King said, different repertoires, different ways that guys want to do it. Wells has done his homework, and he has come ready to be part of this here. And I think it's very realistic that he could be part of an opening day tandem with Jose Trevino, who will be coming back from injury next year. And then you get a nice little lefty-righty thing there. But for years, we've been hearing Wells, the bat will play. The question was the defense. Everything I've seen so far tells me the defense is going to play too. So we talked about Wells, the 2-run homer. We talked about the 3-0 there. And we've talked about, one thing that we should bring up here. So Giancarlo Stanton hits a double in the 7th inning. And that seemed like a prime spot to pinch run for him, because Stanton, as we know, just can't move on the base pass. So there's an IKF single to right field. And Stanton correctly was held at third by Luis Rojas. Then there's a play at the plate. Stanton tries to score, he can't do it. Bo Bichette throws him out of the plate, and it wasn't even a very good throw. I think that, we've talked this through a lot here. Stanton needs to figure out something during the offseason to be able to move better on the base pass, because if he's going to be station to station, that's tough, and that creates a lot of issues here. Boone said he didn't want to bring Volpe or Judge into this game, and he could use Bowers, but then that kind of handcuffs you in other ways. So, interesting. I know the game doesn't mean a whole lot, and they wind up winning in the end, but that was definitely a head scratcher. So anyway, the Hokey Pokey, that's the Hokey Pokey. That's what it's all about. Final score from Toronto, once again, is the Yankees 2, Jays nothing. We'll see you tomorrow.